7 years ago, I pressed publish on a blog post that changed my life forever. For my family and friends, I became that. Literally. They would cross the streets to avoid me, but today, I am speaking to you from a place of strength. My name is Sarah, with no age, and I've been trying to help hundreds of former Jehovah's Witnesses find their voice. Want to know the dark truth about what happens inside this organization and how I turn my trauma into purpose? Stay with me. I was born in Poland in a family of Jehovah's Witnesses. That should explain my accent. I never knew any other life. Imagine never celebrating your birthday, no holidays, no parties. When all the kids at school exchanged gifts, I was the weird one who had to leave the classroom. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. From childhood, I was taught that only witnesses would survive Armageddon, the end of the world. Everyone else would perish. My teachers, classmates, even my beloved aunts who were no witnesses. Imagine being an 8-year-old girl living with the thought that all your school friends would soon be destroyed by God. How does that affect your psyche? Part 2. Youth and marriage. By age 13, I started having suicidal thoughts. Every meeting, every publication reminded me I wasn't doing enough for Jehovah. You know that stories from watchtowers? That others were crossing crocodile-infested rivers to preach. I complained about every Saturday morning service. I didn't go to college, although I really love to learn. Education isn't well regarded in this community. Instead, I got married right after high school. Witnesses don't date. If you're meeting someone, it's only with marriage in mind, and never alone, always with a chaperone. And premarital sex? That's a straight path to disfellowshipping, and disfellowshipping means your own mother stops answering your calls. Part 3. Health consequences. I was ready to die for my faith. Literally. After giving birth to my first child, I refused a blood transfusion, even though my hemoglobin dropped to a critical level. I was ready to orphan my own child in the name of religion. Even worse, if my child needed a transfusion, I would have refused that too, even at the cost of their life. I lived believing the world would end before I turned 25. Constant fear, constant tension, constant guilt. Part 4. The awakening of the force. What broke me was the pedophilia scandal in Australia. The witnesses were hiding data about predators, not helping victims, and sometimes even blaming them. And then I remembered something I had deeply buried. As a child, I experienced abuse by one of the witnesses, and when I finally admitted it as an adult, I was interrogated by 2 men with no psychological training. They asked for details as if I were guilty. After that conversation, I couldn't sleep for weeks. I started doing research. Actually, my husband did most of the work, but this should be his story to tell. For the first time in my life, I dared to look at materials outside the organization. I was shaking with fear, but I told myself, if this is the truth, it will defend itself. I discovered fake quotes, doctrinal contradictions, manipulations. The religion I was ready to die for turned out to be a corporate cult where the top lives in luxury while the bottom is controlled by fear. Part 5. My new life. That was, I think, 7 years ago. Today, our Polish YouTube channel Światusy is approaching 100,000 subscribers. Can you say Światusy? It is a Polish word for worldly people. And many worldly people watch us because they've been wondering why that boy from high school suddenly stopped talking to them, or why auntie, after changing religion, stopped coming for Christmas. I think it's quite a success because in Poland there are about 120,000 witnesses. We made it. What started as a personal healing became my mission. Me and my husband expose watchtower propaganda, but more importantly, we provide a platform for others to share their stories, often for the first time. There's nothing more powerful than watching someone finally speak their truth after years of silence. Obviously, these podcasts are in Polish, but if you're not afraid of subtitles, you can go and give it a try. This work has become not just my passion, but my profession, and it's shown me how many people are suffering from religious trauma, not just from Jehovah's Witnesses, but from many high control groups. Part 6. Why this English channel? So why am I starting this English channel? First, the Watchtower organization is global, but most XJW content is in English, focused on American or British experiences. Poland and Europe have unique challenges for current and former witnesses. While reading magazines, I often felt like, oh, this isn't for us. How am I supposed to make my life easier by selling one of my houses or cars while I don't own any? Different cultural contexts, different legal systems, different support resources. Second, religious trauma isn't limited to Jehovah's Witnesses. On this channel, I'll try explore other high control groups and the psychological impact they have. I also really hope that maybe some of country trivia could be interesting to you. 7 years ago, I chose freedom at the cost of everything I knew. It was the hardest and best decision of my life. Today, I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving, and I want the same for you. If you're a current witness watching this video, I don't judge you. You can always reach out to me. And if you're not a witness, perhaps now you better understand those strange people who knock on your doors on Saturday mornings. They truly believe they're saving your life. If you know someone trapped in a similar situation, be there for them. Sometimes one kind word can save a life. Subscribe to join our community of truth seekers and survivors. Hit that notification to be alerted when I post new content about religious freedom, healing from trauma, and building a life you truly love. Let's heal together. See you in the next video, which will be about Jehovah's Witnesses weddings. And weddings in Poland are surely quite something different. It's the first episode on this channel, so I made it really quick. But if you would like to listen full story of my awakening my husband from the truth from Watchtower, please comment below.
Okay.